The lights inside the arena burn bright, casting long shadows across the canvas as the crowd settles into an uneasy hush. This is not just another amateur bout. This is history repeating itself. Andy Cruz of Cuba and Keyshawn Davis of the United States stand on opposite sides of the ring, separated by ropes, nations, and philosophies of boxing, but bound by a rivalry forged long before this night. These are not prospects testing the waters. These are elite technicians, students of the sport, men who have spent years sharpening their craft against the very best in the world. For the purists in attendance, this fight is a gift, a true boxing chess match between two fighters who know each other's tendencies, strengths, and tells almost too well. They've met before, they've traded wins and losses across international tournaments, and every time they do, the margins are razor thin. Tonight at the 2019 AIBA World Championships, the stakes are immense: pride, legacy, national honor, and the unspoken question hanging in the air: what happens when these two eventually collide as professionals? Cruz enters the ring calm, almost detached, his body language loose and fluid, a product of the Cuban boxing system that prizes movement, balance, and rhythm. Davis, on the other hand, carries a quiet intensity. The American is composed, focused, grounded. He represents a different school, one built on stability, sharp counters, and controlled aggression. As the referee brings them together, the crowd senses it. This won't be about brute force. This will be about inches, angles, timing, and decision-making under pressure. When the bell sounds, it won't just signal the start of a fight. It will mark the opening move in a battle of minds. The opening round begins cautiously, as expected, when two fighters possess this level of intelligence. Andy Cruz immediately takes the center, light on his feet, heels subtly raised, gliding across the canvas, like a man dancing to music only he can hear. His jab flickers, not always meant to land, but meant to measure, to distract, to draw reactions. Keyshawn Davis stays patient, shoulders tight, chin tucked, reading the movement in front of him. He's not chasing, he's watching. Cruz circles left, then right, constantly resetting the angle, forcing Davis to turn and adjust. The Cuban's footwork becomes the story early. His ability to be in range 1 second and gone the next, frustrating the American. Davis answers with discipline, stepping in behind a sharp right hand when the opening presents itself, reminding Cruz that overconfidence will be punished. The exchanges are brief, clean, cerebral. Every punch thrown has intention. The crowd leans forward with every movement, understanding that this fight will be won not with volume, but with precision. Cruz sneaks in a crisp counter as Davis steps forward, drawing a ripple of applause. Davis responds moments later with a solid right that snaps Cruz's head back, just enough to make a statement. The round ebbs and flows without dominance, but subtlety favors Cruz. His proactive movement dictates the pace, forcing Davis to react rather than impose himself. As the final seconds tick away, Cruz lands another quick combination off an angle, then disappears out of range before Davis can answer. The bell rings, and both corners know this fight will be decided by who can impose their rhythm without making mistakes. Round 1 belongs narrowly to Cruz, not by power, but by control. Round 2 begins with a sense of urgency. Keyshawn Davis has made adjustments. He steps forward with more intent, cutting the ring rather than following Cruz's movement. The American's feet stay planted just a bit longer, allowing him to generate more stability when he throws. Cruz continues to glide, but now he's forced to work harder to maintain space. Davis finds moments to land, timing Cruz's exits with well-placed rights and short combinations. For a brief stretch, the momentum feels like it's shifting. The crowd reacts loudly as Davis lands a clean shot, the kind that makes even the most seasoned technicians take notice. But Cruz responds the way Cuban boxers are taught, from the ground up. He increases his lateral movement, changing rhythm, breaking patterns. Instead of circling wide, he darts in and out, creating new angles mid-exchange. His counters become sharper, more opportunistic. A sudden step-back right hand lands flush, followed by a quick pivot that leaves Davis swinging at air. The beauty of Cruz's boxing isn't just in the punches, it's in what he avoids. Davis continues pressing, but every step forward costs him energy. Cruz's raised heel stance allows him to explode in short bursts, then reset before Davis can capitalize. The round turns into a test of patience versus persistence. Davis is effective when he commits, but Cruz's mobility opens more scoring opportunities. The Cuban lands cleaner, clearer shots, even if they come in singles rather than combinations. As the round closes, Cruz finishes strong with a sharp flurry off an angle, punctuating his control. The judges take note. The second round, like the first, edges toward Cruz, not by dominance, but by mastery of space and timing. The third and final round opens with a different energy. Keyshawn Davis knows what's at stake. He needs this round. His corner urges him forward, and he answers the call. The American increases the pressure, stepping into range with conviction, throwing combinations instead of single shots. His punches carry more weight now, his stance grounded, stable, built for power. Cruz feels it. For the first time, He spends extended moments on the back foot, forced to react rather than dictate. Davis lands a strong right hand that echoes through the arena, drawing a roar from the crowd. The fight tightens. Cruz responds with intelligence, not panic. He clinches when necessary, breaks rhythm, and reestablishes angles whenever he can. Still, Davis presses. The fatigue of constant movement begins to show on Cruz's legs. Just slightly, but enough to change the dynamic. Davis cuts the ring effectively, landing body shots that sap energy and slow the Cuban's escape routes. The crowd senses a possible turning point. With a minute left, Davis unleashes his best sequence of the fight, backing Cruz toward the ropes and forcing exchanges. Cruz fires back with sharp counters, reminding everyone why he's among the world's elite. But this is Davis's round. The American's aggression, control of distance, and willingness to take risks pay off. As the final bell rings, both fighters step back, breathing heavy, eyes locked in mutual respect. They know what they've just shared. A battle not of violence, but of intellect and will. The fighters return to center ring as the judges finalize their scorecards. The arena hums with anticipation. No one is surprised that the decision will be close. When the announcer speaks, the words ring clear. Unanimous decision for the red corner, representing Cuba, Andy Cruz. Applause fills the space, not just for the winner, but for the bout itself. Cruz raises his hand, composed as ever, his movement and balance proving decisive over 3 tightly contested rounds. Davis accepts the result with grace, knowing he finished strong and proved his mettle on the world stage. In the aftermath, the fight becomes a case study in contrasting boxing philosophies. Cruz's proactive footwork, raised heel stance, and constant angle creation exemplify the Cuban system, designed for balance, speed, and agility. Davis's approach reflects the American style: flat-heeled stability, power generation, and forward pressure. One favors perpetual readiness, like a finger on the trigger. The other favors control, like a firm grip on the weapon. Neither is wrong. On this night, Cruz's mobility created just enough opportunities to secure victory. But the story doesn't end here. For fans, this fight fuels anticipation for what lies ahead. If this is what they produce in headgear, what will happen when they meet as professionals, with smaller gloves and higher stakes? Respect lingers in the air as both men leave the ring, having added another chapter to a rivalry that continues to shape their careers. This wasn't just a win or a loss, it was a demonstration of elite boxing at its highest level, and a reminder that the sport, at its best, is an art form.